we want to stay surface level. When you're consuming that sort of content and you're watching people who don't look like you, and you're partaking in this sort of voyeurism sort of thing going on, it kind of seeps into your subconscious to where it causes you to dream about these things and be like, okay, am I worthy of experiencing intimacy like that, whether it's fake or not? Am I worthy? How am I internalizing that, right? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I don't know, but I just woke up, so sorry if I look a little rough, okay? But today I'm going to be talking about how much corn, right, has an effect on the female psyche, right? How this came about was I had this weird ass dream, right? I had this weird ass dream, and then I sometimes, put my dreams into ChatGPT. Don't come for me, please. I don't use ChatGPT often, okay? I only use it sometimes. I'll read to y'all what I wrote, like what my dream was about, okay? And then I'm gonna give y'all what ChatGPT said, and then it's gonna tie into the whole corn thing. Just stay with me. Part it was I told ChatGPT I had the weirdest fucking dream, and then ChatGPT said, "OMG, say it right now." Like, was it weird, scary, weird, actual, weird, spiritual, or weird? Why did my brain cook this up? Give me the whole plot, bestie. Give me the whole plot, bestie. Start from the beginning and don't skip details. And so this is what I said. I said, so in my waking life, sometimes I apply to paid studies, like paid experiments, like basically experiments. I do not do it often and I never get picked, which is fine. Last time I applied to a paid study was probably last month, to be honest. Anyways, I had a dream. I took the bus to a place around nighttime. I was stressing out a little bit and a bit anxious because the bus driver was either driving too slow or skipped my stop. Then I was worried about being late and having to walk a long way. Anyways, I reached the venue. I don't know, in my mind, my dream self was thinking I was going to some sort of concert. I don't know why. Okay, so when I got to my destination, it was a concrete colored wall. It was concrete colored walls. It kind of looked like where my mom took us to go visit my brother while he was in prison. LOL. Not gonna lie. There was this huge, expensive looking vending machine. It was different. It was behind the wall, see through glass and everything, but the snacks were labeled by single numbers. We were all alone. I was in the lobby, but the television on the wall gave us instructions. We were all given a number and we were all supposed to run to the room with our number on it. It was a number and a triangle arrow pressing in the direction. For example, mine was 5 and an arrow was pressing down, like an arrow was pointing down. So we all had to run to our room and press our number, and I had to press the button at the bottom and my door opened. So I did it, and there was an empty kind of blow up like bed in the corner with like 5 bags of hot Cheetos. That bed was for me most likely. Then I turned to my right and I see 3 other women I had shared the space with. They were already laying down asleep. Then I started to hear giggling and I was confused as to why. Then I read on the closed door in our room, if you giggle or say the 5 words listed on the door, then that means you would like to end the experiment and go home. So basically it's kind of like a safe word or a giggle. You had to I don't know, y'all. My dream, I told y'all it was weird. You had to either giggle or you had to like say one of the 5 listed safe words that were listed on the wall in red writing. I only remember the word live though, live. As soon as I get in the room, I felt uneasy in my stomach, like my life force was being depleted from me. I also remember thinking I'm the only one like feeling this way. Like I felt very weird when I was in that room. Like I instantly felt ill, off, bad. Also, we were being surveillance 24/7. When I saw myself on the TV video camera, I realized that I joined a paid experiment. Now so all the way up to that point, I was thinking I wasn't thinking where I was, right? I wasn't thinking where I was. I was just taking in my surroundings, and I thought this is really weird. But then once I saw that I was being, that we were being surveillanced, I was like, oh shit, that's when it clicked. Oh shit, like I'm in a paid experiment. Like this is where it gets even crazier and weirder. The doctor comes out and explains that she's going to test an injection on us that relaxes our muscles, basically. Then she shows a video to us about how our stay is going to go, and what we were in for. Now, this is where it gets weird and a little inappropriate. I'm gonna try my best to like say it without YouTube getting all weird about it. But y'all, this dream was fucking crazy. Like it was weird and it felt so real. Some women were being tied up on some sort of like seat thing in a was like being like jackhammering them in the cootie cat, girl, while on the medication. It was just doing it for however long. I'm not very vulgar out loud, so like excuse me if y'all, I feel weird even saying this out loud. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate that I had this dream. I do. One where a woman has to do acrobatics in the air, I guess, trying to keep her balance with a harness on, fully clothed though, while there is some man laying down on the bench beneath her, just beating it, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Just a lot of weird, actual experiments going on orgies. I'm like, what the fuck, right? I remember being unsettled, but also jealous a little bit. Also jealous a little bit. Okay, let me try and get through it. If in my waking life, like I do get jealous of women experiencing pleasure. Anyways, I'm not sure if the women in the video were actually consenting or I don't know. So I am over here feeling uneasy. After the video, she was saying once you get the injection, you need to stay still for 7 to 8 hours, just bed rotting on being and not being able to move. Also, we were going to stay for 3 days. So the experiment was a duration of 3 days. She was saying about how people lost weight during the trial and everything, also mentioning the injection would make us numb. There was a black girl there, disappeared, and we all thought she went home. The doctor mentioned that she quit a trial before and she kept leaving. She came back again and said that the girl eventually came back again and said that she just went to go get butter. And I remember she held the butter up in her hand, was like, oh, I just went to go get butter. I'm like, girl. While she was gone though, I remember us all agreeing that she seemed cool and we wanted to be her friend. Anyways, I finally came to my senses and quit before the injection was administered. I thought they were going to kill us. Mixed with a little bit of, I can't stay still for that long. Y'all, she was talking about staying still for 7 to 8 hours. Bitch was doing that. Not me. I asked questions about what the injection was and what was the purpose of the experiment, etc., etc. She told me the injection name, but I forgot it. I said live, which was one of the safe words, and then she let me out and I was being discharged. I don't know how I saw everyone get injected, but it was through the side of their neck. They were asked to lay down and they were all saying the injection hurt. Then shortly after, I saw 2 women on the seat thing getting jackhammered. I'm so sorry if I'm being vulgar, too vulgar, but y'all know when you clicked on this video, y'all know what you was getting into, okay? I saw one girl unconscious, suspended in the air over one of those like metal steel tables that they have like in the morgue, like they have like the dead bodies on, you know, like those steel tables. Yeah, she was above one of those and she was just hanging there on her back, like alone, like nobody was there, like. And there was this one guy, maybe he wasn't human or maybe it was the food they served. He gave me instructions, like he said, oh, Samara, like go kill that power, like meaning like turn off the power in the building so the experiment can stop. And I got a glimpse of my back, which is weird. It's like it was me in the dream, right? It was me in the dream, but I'm also observing the dream too. And I see my dream self and I get a glimpse of my back tattoo. And it was like a huge like demon looking thing tattooed on my back. And once he said that, like I realized that the huge demon tattoo, it started to bleed like at the claws of it when he said that. And I remember running and trying to save all the girls. Then I woke up, right? Like ChatGPT's response was, oh my God, Samara, that dream was a whole A24 psychological horror film mixed with Black Mirror, mixed with sexual trauma symbolism. ChatGPT basically broke down the dream symbolism one by one. And so the 7th thing that ChatGPT realized about my dream was the injection plus numbness equals fear of losing body autonomy, right? This is the core theme, is what ChatGPT said. That injection was basically symbolic of they're taking control of my body. And that is exactly why your stomach dropped. That life force being depleted feeling, that's your nervous system recognizing danger. Even if it was just a dream, your body is reacting to it as if it was real. The sexual experiments equals coercion, trauma, jealousy mixed together, which was number 8. This part is complex but real because you said you were unsettled but also jealous. This is so human. It sounds like your brain was mixing 2 feelings: fear of sexual harm, exploitation, and grief, envy that other women get pleasure freely. So it's like your subconscious was showing you sex is something that can be pleasurable, but it can also be weaponized. That's a very traumatic, trauma-aware dream, and it makes sense with your history because manipulation and consent confusion could leave this deep imprint. Like, is this pleasure or is this danger? Oh, so fast forward, right? I tell ChatGPT, I said that I get jealous of women having sexual pleasure in my waking life. For example, women who say that they had a good time with the rose toy, even though I own one and stuff, why do I get jealous? And then ChatGPT said, okay, so I'm gonna be real with you, Samara. About the jealousy, women experiencing pleasure, first of all, this is so normal and more common than people admit. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person at all. It usually comes from one or a mix of these things. 1, why is it so easy for them and hard for me? Pleasure might feel complicated for you. You might be jealous of the being wanted part. Comparison in your brain trying to locate what you're missing. Deep down, you might feel behind. As in, why do I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be? And here's the big truth. Even if you own the rose, if you don't feel fully relaxed, emotionally safe, or mentally present, pleasure won't hit the same. Because pleasure is not just physical. It's nervous system, confidence, self-trust, safety, feeling like your body is yours. What I think is happening with you, you're not jealous because you're bitter. You're jealous because you're hungry for freedom. Sexual freedom, emotional freedom, body confidence, safety, and you deserve that. Aww. And then I told ChatGPT, I do remember feeling like those girls were pretty, and I was not pretty enough to get picked to experience that pleasure in the dream or my waking life. How do you know? ChatGPT said, this is the core of it. First, that thought in the dream, like they're prettier than me, so I don't get picked, is painfully telling. That's not even about sex for real. That's about worth. Like your brain is carrying that belief that pleasure is for girls who look a certain way. Being desired is something you have to earn. I'm not the chosen one. And that belief is what makes that jealousy sting so hard. Because it's not I want pleasure, it's I want to be wanted like that. Did y'all feel baptized after that? And that was it. No, I'm just playing. So, first off, I want to say that this was very vulnerable. This was a very vulnerable thing for me to talk about. I don't talk about my sexual experiences. I don't talk about my body autonomy. I'm not very open, about sex in a way that's so public, right? But it was very hard for me to admit that I get jealous of women experiencing pleasure. Am I the only one? It's not like, at least I don't want to say it's in a weird way. It's more so like, oh, I wish I could experience that pleasure. Like, she seems like she's having a good time. And I don't know why, but I just feel a hint of jealousy there. And that's something that I was very ashamed to express. But maybe somebody out there is feeling the same way. And I can offer, I don't know, and maybe you won't feel less alone in that either. Right? But I also wanted to kind of tie this into porn or adult content, because ChatGPT this morning made me realize something about the porn industry and adult content and the OS and all that. And a lot of people, and we often see the effects of adult content on the male psyche, but we never talk about the effects on the female psyche. And again, full transparency here, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass later. I have been consuming adult content since I was younger. It kind of followed me, and I don't think I'm an addict or anything, but I just now realized how much of a toll it takes on my self-esteem and my self-worth, right? It took me to dream about some crazy ass shit to realize that porn kind of reinforces a certain look or a certain aesthetic, and it kind of reinforces this idea that, at least to some, maybe not to all, that certain women who look a certain way get to experience all the pleasure, and not just, and not just anyone. You know what I'm saying? Even when I do scroll, like on the porn sites and stuff and all that, like, it is women who don't look like me at all, right? And then when I do search of things that include people who look like me, pink people still pop up, right? So it's like, when you see that, when you experience that, and you look like me, and you don't look like, you don't look like them, it kind of reinforces in your mind, like, okay, this is who's worthy of all the pleasure. This is who's worthy of experiencing a good time, right? Because they say that the whole thing is fake. It doesn't matter. We can even go as far to say that sex is a deeply spiritual experience. As much as the porn industry passes the act of intimacy off so cavalier for the sake of money, it's not. We can even go as far to say that. However, if we want to stay surface level, when you're consuming that sort of content and you're watching people who don't look like you, and you're partaking in this sort of voyeurism sort of thing going on, it kind of seeps into your subconscious to where it causes you to dream about these things and be like, okay, am I worthy of experiencing intimacy like that, whether it's fake or not? Am I worthy? How am I internalizing that, right? Porn messes with women's self-esteem and self-worth. It doesn't necessarily have to be a racial thing. It could be an anatomy thing, right? Some women may feel subconscious about, their body and how their body looks. Women do watch adult content, right? Some women may compare themselves to these women, and if you're like me and you think that, and you might be jealous of, certain pleasures and certain things, it's like your self-esteem and your self-worth might get triggered by these things. It's like, it does affect us. It does. And to the men, I want to say that when women point out the fact that, porn kind of affects you too, and how you think and how you act, don't take it as an attack per se, and I know you might, because we as women, we could clearly see how much adult content has taken a toll on your mental and how it influences how you think, but you don't, and that's okay, because it took me a while to realize it too. Sorry, I didn't get to finish the video because I had a call come in, but for the closing statement, I'm not saying that you need to stop watching adult content. That's not what I'm saying. But at least that when you do consume these things, at least you're aware of the effects that it has on you. And that's usually the first step. And I'm realizing, the effects that it has on me. And now, like, if I do, choose to partake in consuming such content, now I know that I shouldn't compare, I shouldn't contrast, and I shouldn't internalize what I'm saying, and I shouldn't feel a certain way about myself or any other woman. Yeah, that's basically it.